Hey man, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
People around here have been hearing about you for a long time. It didn't seem like Florida State was too much in the picture coming out of high school. What was different coming out of the portal, and what were the conversations like with Coach Norvell and Malzahn that got you really excited about Florida State?
Yeah, coming out of high school, I feel like I had kind of narrowed down my schools a little bit, and I was more so looking to narrow than kind of expand. And just with all the moving parts coming out of high school, I went a separate way. But then, once I entered the portal, being able to speak to Coach Norvell, speak to Coach Malzahn, just feel the excitement that they had. That meant a lot.
All right, next will be Jordan, third row on your left.
Hey Duce, after you committed, you posted a picture of you in an FSU jersey as a child. What was your relationship like with Florida State growing up, and do you have any core memories, as a fan, as a young guy?
Yeah, Florida State's always been a very special place to me. Growing up, my pops went to Florida State, my mom went to Florida. It was always a fun rivalry. Me and all my brothers were Florida State fans, so my mom got the short end of the stick with that. But one of my first, earliest memories I remember was when we watched the national championship game with Jameis playing Coach Malzahn, actually. And I just remember we were able to stay up late. It was a school night, and we were able to stay up late, watch the end of that game, and it came down to the wire. But we ended up taking the dub. And I just remember my pops lifting me up over his head and putting me on his shoulder after we won. And that's one of my fondest memories growing up. And I think ever since then I've always held a special place. And now that I'm able to be a Seminole, hopefully recreate a lot of those memories.
All right, next will be Aslan on the back right.
Duce, you mentioned how things are a little bit different the second time around being recruited, and you guys have all these different reasons for why you pick schools. We talked about kind of maybe feeling wanted, I guess. How important is it to feel wanted in the recruiting process? How much of that did you feel this time around? And what did the staff do to make you feel that?
Yeah, I think everyone, it's in our human nature to want to feel wanted. You know what I mean? And I think it's important to for you to be able to feel that, because you don't want to go somewhere where the coaches might be half in, half out on you, or want the best for you, but aren't gonna give you all they have to get the best out of you, right? And I think that was one of the major differences with Coach Norvell, was you can really tell. And just from being able to speak to some of his former players, I have a good relationship with Johnny Wilson, and just being able to text him and ask him about what his experience was like, and he told me Coach Norvell is going to push you every single day to get the best out of you, because he knows that your success means his success, right? And it's vice versa, and his success is going to mean your success, and so he really strives for the best for his guys, and he truly loves his guys, and it's funny because you can tell. Actually, Michael was saying it earlier, but his talk isn't just recruiting talk, and I could really tell that when I was on my visit here. We went over to his house. We did just to hang out with him and his family. His daughter Mila, exactly like him. She is the loudest. She can talk for literally, if you don't stop her, she can talk for 5 hours straight, and you can tell she gets that from Coach Norvell, right? She's just super positive, super energetic all the time. And that's someone I want to play for. That's someone I want to be around. That's someone I want to be coached by. So it meant a lot.
All right, we'll go back to Ira. You're right.
2 questions. Can your pop still lift you over his head?
Shoot. I think he's in pretty good shape. I'm not sure if he's got that in the bag anymore, though. I'm not gonna lie.
But then, just having him as, he's a performance coach, as a father, and a guy who played at such high levels. How much of your drive comes from the way he drove you, and how much of that is, do you just bring it to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely blessed to have two. To have two, parents who were student athletes who went through this, and I think growing up, right? So he played football and baseball here too, right? And I think just growing up, I saw him, or I heard stories about him and what he did. And when you're little, you don't want to hear anything about how great your father was, because in your mind he's just an old man, right? and you should be able to do everything he does. And so I think my goal was always just to follow in his footsteps and try to be better than him. And I think that was one of my motivating factors. And then, you know, having him alongside there to push me to be that and want to see me be better than him and strive the best for me. You know, I think a lot of my motivation comes from him, and then having my mom, you know, every step of the way being supportive and not only, you know, not only being okay with the long nights it took, or when me and my pops told her we were going to be working out for an hour, and then we show up 3 hours later, and she's pushing for that. You know what I mean? She's not only going to be okay with it, but she's encouraging us to do that. And I think, you know, just having that support system, that foundation, really helped to elevate me to where I am today, and hopefully, you know, take me a lot further.
All right, we'll come to Chris, front row on your left.
Hey, Duce, talk about your love for baseball. Is that something you intend to try to do down the line? And if not, why did you give it up?
Yeah, absolutely. I love baseball. Baseball was actually my first love. You know, I grew up in Dallas when the Rangers went to back-to-back World Series, and those were some of my earliest sports memories too. You know, just like when Florida State won the Natty. You know, those were some of my earliest memories, going to their games when they went to back-to-back World Series. And yeah, I love baseball. I grew up playing, and I would love to continue playing. You know, this past summer I played out in California, and I absolutely loved it. I played for the Compton Barons for Coach KT, Coach Kenny, and it was great. And so I would love to continue to play baseball if that's where the road leads me. And yeah, we'll see what ends up happening.
All right, next we'll go to Liam, second row on your left.
Can you kind of explain your relationship with Tommy Castellanos? We talked to him earlier, and he was very complimentary. You guys have kind of hit it off since coming here. Just your relationship with him and some of the guys in that wide receiver room.
Absolutely. Tommy's incredible. Like, Tommy is my person day in and day out. He's one of the reasons I came here. When I came on my visit here, he was here as well. He made sure he was here and able to show me around and just be with me, you know, every step of the way. And he's been great. Like you can tell when you talk to someone and you can tell you're just gonna be able to be lifelong friends, right? And as soon as I talked to him, like first time I ever talked to him, I'm like, okay, this is my type of person. This is the person I want to be with every day. Like, this is the person I want to throw me the football. But then, you know, more than just being on the field, like we do everything together. We go eat together. We go play basketball together. We go, like, it's really like a brotherhood. It's not just on the field. It's off the field. We live across the hall from each other. Like, whenever I want to go to his house, I just walk across the hall. He leaves his door unlocked. Whenever he wants to come to my house, you know, he knows my door is always unlocked for him. So it's really been great, and I'm super excited to continue to build that relationship on the field as well.
All right, stay there for Peter.
Hey, Duce, two-part question. One is how much do you embrace of being labeled a legacy player, or how much you try to like move past that and just be your own individual? And also, you were just mentioning about growing up watching that national championship game. Do you have like a favorite player that you enjoyed watching growing up as an FSU fan? Any particular players?
Yeah, so I'll start with that second question. Kelvin Benjamin. I absolutely loved Kelvin Benjamin. He was a big receiver too, and he was electric in college. And so, you know, just I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to be a receiver in the first place. And I tried to, you know, model my game because I knew I was going to be big from the time I was very young. But just watching him, you know, go to work every week, it was really cool. And then in terms of the legacy, I think it's awesome, and I want to embrace that, right? To be able to, you know, be Dominic Robinson's son, and you know, when I came on my visit, it was his first time being back in Tallahassee for like 10 years or something, and it was just really cool to have him and see him be back at his home. You know what I mean? Like, see him come back to Tallahassee, and he knew all the places and he knew all the streets, and he's telling me and my mom, oh, this is where I was when I did this is where I was when I did that. Like, that's super cool. But then I think it's also important for me to try to carve out my own legacy. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's really cool to be Dominic Robinson's son, but I'm also trying to be Duce Robinson. You know, I don't want to just be, and I think that's really important, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to be able to do that this season and try to build my own name.
All right, next will be Kurt, front row on your right.
We can obviously see your size. I guess, how would you describe your skill set, the strengths of your game as a receiver?
Yeah, I think obviously my number one attribute is my size, right? Like, there's no denying that. But I think my athleticism with my size. You know, I've always taken pride in being athletic just in general, right? Like, I don't want to even be a guy that says that people would say, like, oh, he's athletic for his size. Like, no, I don't want to be athletic for my size. I just want to be athletic in general, right? Like, I think I want to push the narrative that big guys are able to move too. You know, I was labeled a tight end coming out of high school, but I want to be a receiver, right? Just because I'm big doesn't necessarily mean I need to be a tight end. No disrespect to tight ends whatsoever. I absolutely love my tight ends, and if they told me to be a tight end right now, I'll go and I'll work. But no, like, I think it's just really important, and I take pride in my athleticism, and yeah.
All right, we'll go to Matt, third row on your right.
What's up, Duce? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
We talked a lot about that 2013 national championship game. Now that you know you're going to be in Gus Malzahn's offense, have you watched it looking more at Auburn and looking more at, like, what you could be in that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun going back and watching some of Coach Malzahn's offenses. You know, so it's crazy. The first time Coach Malzahn and Coach Norvell were together was they had like I think it was a 5,000-yard quarterback. Then they had, what was it, 3 receivers over 1,000 yards and 2 running backs over 1,000 or something. Like, that's unheard of, right? And with all the skill and the talent we have in this offense, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to do something like that too. And I'm really excited to, you know, be able to truly get to work with the guys. Like, I'm in the weight room with them every day. I'm throwing with them, but we're on air, and I'm really excited to get, you know, into the spring, get into true football, and get to work with these guys to see what we've got.
All right, we're gonna go 2 more. Next will be Aslan in the back right.
I don't want to compare Tommy to Caleb Willie. But playing with Caleb, just his ability to extend plays, does that give you some sort of level of experience or comfortability working with a guy like Tommy who's probably going to extend plays and do things off schedule?
Yeah, I think, you know, they're both extremely special players, right? Like, you don't find guys with their level of talent, their ability to extend plays, like, they're not going to get sacked, right? They're guys who will, they're magicians. And so I think being able to work and practice with a guy like Caleb every single day for my freshman year definitely makes it a little more comfortable. I mean, scramble drill was a staple of practices at SC, and I'm assuming it'll probably be a staple of practices here, just because of the level of talent that Tommy has and his ability to make plays out of nothing. And so yeah, I think it offers a very exciting and unique possibility for a lot of, like, unknown yards, and I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen.
All right, we'll end with Ira, second row on your right. Sorry, we'll end with Corey, second row on your right. I just assumed when you rose your hand it was for you, but I forgot that it's.
What war chance on Dominic Robinson? How much different was he this time around in maybe giving you advice, maybe pushing you in a different direction than he was out of high school? Was it the same dad? Did he have different advice for you coming out of high school than he did after 2 years at USC? And then second, 2-part real quick. what are you better at now? What do you think you'll be better at now, or in August, than you were this time last year? Like, what do you think you'll still improve on, and how much better can you be?
Yeah, I'll start with that first question. So, like I said, I've been extremely fortunate to be blessed with two parents who have gone through the recruiting process before, and then they've gone through the recruiting process with me in high school, you know. And out of high school, I think both times were actually pretty similar. The only thing was this time I didn't, like, I was trying to be done with my recruiting process, right? But it all comes down to they just want me to be happy. Like, their biggest thing for me is just pushing for me to find the place where I'm going to walk off the field with a smile on my face every day, and every Saturday I'm gonna come hug my mom, and I'm gonna be grinning ear to ear, right? And they just want me to find the place that will most accurately represent that. So they're excuse me. They're gonna do everything in their power, do their due diligence, talk to anyone they need to talk to, and get all the information they needed to help us make that right decision. And it just so happened that Florida State was that place for us, which is really cool because my pops did go here. And in terms of, you know, what I think I'll improve on this off season, I think my main focus is to become as technically sound as possible. Like, I think I've shown that I have natural ability, and I think I've shown that I've, you know, been a very I've had pretty good technique, but I think if like one of my goals this offseason is to really hone in on that technique and become as technically sound, as fundamentally sound of a receiver as I can possibly be. And hopefully, you know, come August when we walk out there, you'll see a really good, really polished receiver.